So I want Faith to talk about the audition you had in the 80s for a little off-Broadway musical.
I got sent this wonderful script, and it was a brand new musical, which, as you know, doesn't happen very often. And I read it, and I went, oh my God, this is it. This is my role. This is my role. Well, it turns out Howard Ashman, Alan Menken thought so too. And so I was so excited, and I got the part. The only problem was I had already a job, an industrial. So I went into the head of the entertainment division and got on my hands and knees and begged him. And I said, I've been cast in this amazing thing. I said, it's about a man-eating plant who sings, "Feed me." And of course, he looked at me like I had, 3 eyes, and just said, absolutely not. It's your contract. This is what you have to do. So later that year, Ellen Green got the drama desk, and a beautiful, it's okay.
No, she has an amazing attitude about it.
I really did. And it's funny because I was working up at Goodspeed when all this happened, and her Hirschfeld was in the, Goodspeed.
Her Hirschfeld was in the news.
Yeah,
New
York Times. Yeah, and everybody was like whispering in the other room, don't tell Faith, don't tell Faith. And I walked down and I said, please. I said, this is her time. I said, someday it'll be my time. And probably if I'd gotten Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, I probably wouldn't have been Adelaide. Do you know what I'm saying? So
why?
That's why I say,
because the roles,
they're similar. Do you know what I mean? It would just have been too sort of on the nose.
But is that you looking back 20 years later going, I realize now it worked out, or were you really thinking that in the 80s, like it's all good?
Well, my name is Faith.
That's so great. I love that.
It's true. I mean, I have to have that in my sort of.
There were a lot of people that played the part. Were you at least you replaced though at some point, right? Off Broadway.
I went in right behind Ellen for both the New York and LA companies.
Oh, so you did get to play the part anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we were talking at rehearsal. I thought it's so cool because she didn't get to do the original cast album. I thought we'd haul out a song from the show for y'all. Okay, so just imagine me as a kind of a Jewish nerd.
Imagine that.
Okay, let's see if I can remember this. Lift up your head, wipe off that mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face as clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. 'Cause suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you with sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Nobody ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early and Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers and me, I'd say, sure. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. He don't give me orders. He don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me with sweet understanding. Seymour's my friend.
Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening for losers like I've been. It's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour
that cool? I met Rachel doing Victoria, and just talk for a second, because a lot of times stars in shows are sort of like standoffish and dressing room door closed, and Julie Andrews has this reputation for being super nice. So was she actually super nice to you? Like
she's wonderful. She was my second mom. She's exactly the way you would hope she would be.
Would she ever be though? Like she was doing 8 shows a week, you know, as opposed to Christine Dyer, only 6. So the point is, don't get me started, but Julie Andrews, in her mid-50s, was able to do 8 shows a week. Was she ever like, Rachel, I'm not going out tonight, I'm exhausted?
She was like, yeah, when we shared a dressing room and putting it together. And there were days when she'd be like, oh, Rachel, I just don't think I can do it tonight. I'm just
she's amazing doing imitations.
And I know you'd go, Julie, am I going to have to sing that song?
She would also imitate her to be mean. Okay, sorry.
Please don't do it, don't do it. And I have a terrible cold right now, so I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. But anyway, I go, oh, it's a jolly holiday with Julie. Oh, Rachel, please don't. Julie makes your heart so light. Oh, honestly, Rachel, when the day is gray and ordinary, oh, dear God, Julie makes the sun shine bright. Oh, it, all right, I'll do the show.
Amazing. All right, Kevin Chamberlain. So I've known Kevin forever. We can't really remember when we met, but on Broadway we did The Ritz together and we did Seussical together. You know, he was Horton the Elephant. But we also realized that we both made our Broadway musical debut together, because my first show was subbing for Joe Thalken. Joe, in My Favorite Year, which was also your Broadway debut, right?
It was, yeah.
Ensemble.
In 1992 we did a workshop, and then 1993 was the actual performance. It was in the chorus of it was the amazing character actors that are now all working on Broadway. Michael McGraw was in the chorus, Alan Maroka, who's on Sesame Street, Rob Ashford, who's now a director.
Katie Finneran,
yeah. Yes, it was an amazing group, and when I did that show, Steve Flaherty and Lynn Ahrens remembered me and wrote Horton with me in mind for Seussical.
Did you guys see Addams Family? Yeah. Okay. So tell the kids what you manipulated, what you put into the reading.
I was learning the song "Moon and Me." Do you know that song? And the very end of it. Do you remember it, Seth?
You mean the last note?
Yeah.
The chords?
Yeah, it's like a little and then the last note written in the score was a G, which.
By the way, Kevin also plays the piano, which is annoying.
So that's what, and he goes,
It was,
and I was like, you know what? I think it sounds better if I actually go up to the tonic, to the C. And they're like, you can't do that. I said, well, yes, I can, and probably no other actor can do it to replace me. So if I get it into the score that anyone who plays Fester has to hit a high C, I know I can't be replaced. And this was in the workshop. We were doing workshops and readings, and sometimes people, after they do a workshop, they get replaced by another person, a name or something. It's happened to me. And so
he manipulated and put the C in so that he would continue to have the job up until Broadway, and it worked out, and Tony nomination.
Yes.
So because that's sort of his signature, I decided for the Addams Family fans in the audience, we're going to add a signature high note to Disaster. So normally it goes, I'm still the one who can scratch my itch, still the one, and I wouldn't switch. But we added a crazy high note for Kevin. So let's just try to do off the cuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. You
are still the one that makes my itch, still the one, and I wouldn't switch.
Yes.
I'm still having fun.
So crazy. Still got it. And the blocking is Faith grabs his ass at that moment, and that's what makes the note go up. So it's all good. Okay, so now I'm up to the amazing Jennifer Simard. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi. Hi,
Okay,
everyone.
so Jennifer and I have known each other for a super long time, and as far as I know, your first big job was Forbidden Broadway?
I was visiting friends in New York City. I was doing Nonsense in Boston. I'm from New England originally. And a friend of mine said, you know, Gerard Alessandrini is having a cattle call audition. because they like to do that periodically for new talent, for future productions. And I said, okay, I'll work on some impressions. I was still living in New Hampshire, commuting to Boston. I came in, I auditioned at Theater East, that's where the show was at the time, and I got a call from my basement in my parents' house telling me, how would you like to be in Forbidden Broadway?
One audition?
One audition.
What did you have to, because that to me is such a scary audition. You know, I don't know if you know, but in the old days for Cats, you'd have to step forward and do like a double pirouette. Like, what was kind of the rule for like the Forbidden Broadway audition? You had to come in and do what?
I had to do a few impressions, and then they would throw certain celebrities at me. And in fact, the first year I did it, that summer, Guys and Dolls was on Broadway, and so we had a number that was also about faith. So you can imagine that my mind is blown right now that we get to work together. It's full circle. It's amazing.
How did you know that you could do Bernadette Peters so well? Had you done that when you were younger?
I would never say I'm as lovely as Miss Peters, but I think because maybe my mouth, I sort of resemble her a little bit down here. So yeah. So.
Can you sing anything as Bernadette?
Oh my gosh, I did the one from Gypsy at the end, Rose's turn.
Oh, and how did you introduce it? Does anyone want to hear?
Yeah, and it was, I
Put it on the spot.
it was like curtain of light, the lights. Hello, I'm Thank you.
Me, Jennifer, and Jack were working together literally since the early 90s on comedy, on this comedy show that was called An Evening with Joyce DeWitt, which was hilarious. And I'm obsessed with Jennifer. Has this crazy range where she can basically belt anything or sing anything soprano-wise. So we added this one crazy high note to the end of Sky High that Jennifer sings in Disaster. So we don't even really have the ensemble here, but we'll try to do it for you. It may sound crazy because half the people aren't even in the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Thank you. Max Crumm. Max Crumm I got this job on Playbill, which is sponsoring BroadwayCon, to write a recap of the Grease reality show. So talk to me, so that wasn't fake. That was
Some of you out there, huh?
So talk to me about, how did you get that gig? Did you have an agent then that sent you in for it?
Oh my gosh, no. Actually, Laura Osnes and I were the only two, other than Ashley Spencer, who's now married to Jeremy Jordan, if you guys know who that is.
Great singer.
We were the only 3 people who auditioned free of agents on our own accord.
So
Everyone else competing was from an agent appointment.
Wait, literally both you and Laura, who literally got it, were the only ones that weren't sent in? And how did you even know about it? Was it in like the local penny saver?
Well, no, I was...
You know what I mean? Like
yes,
Foodtown?
I was outside getting my milk jugs. And I was taking a shower, and my roommate at the time saw a commercial for it and was like, hey, you should go audition for that. There's a reality show. They're going to find Grease, the winners for Grease on Broadway. And I was like, no, I have a callback for CSI or something. It was my first callback because I lived in LA. And so I had a callback, and then I went out with friends that night, and I came home, and I couldn't really sleep, and I kept thinking about it. So instead of go to sleep, I looked it up online. I thought, when is that thing? And it was in like a couple of hours. It was the next day. And I thought, and then a voice in the back of my head was like, go, just go. So I went and got 2 Red Bulls and drove and stood in line.
You didn't sleep?
No, and it's funny, if you watched the show, it's the way they sort of introduce me is so funny, because they're like, and then there's Max Crumm, blah, 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 and everybody's so excited in the line, and I'm just sitting like this, like half asleep, because I was like, oh God. And then it was like hours later before we actually sang on camera, and then that whole show was just crazy.
So I first got this idea to write this show in the 90s, and like 20 years passed to write Disaster. And then I was doing these benefits all the time for Only Make Believe, which is this really great charity that Dina Hammerstein started, where they bring theater to hospitalized children. And she was like, she's British. She's like, can you do another benefit for us? And I said, I've got this idea to write this musical about disasters, and if you give me a date, it'll force me to write the show. Instead of for 20 years, I'd be with my husband, he'd be like, you've got to write it. I'm like, I know. So I told
That's the secret to creating, is set a date. Just say, I'm doing it this weekend, and you'll have to do it. But so I met Seth in Palm Springs.
In Palm Springs, yeah. I was doing a benefit out there.
And he told me about the idea for the show. show, which I thought was brilliant, like a disaster musical with every disaster that could happen.
Earthquake, tidal wave, sharks.
And I remember we were sitting by the pool, and I said, so it's in a month. It's wow. And I said, how much have you written? He goes, none.
I had ideas though, but I hadn't actually written anything.
So I literally, in that moment, I just pulled out his laptop, opened it up, and typed exterior, pier, Chad arrives, and sings.
Anna Pascal.
Yeah, and sings hot. It was just like, and it just freed something in Seth. Like he just needed somebody to start typing
Yeah, like I
for
saw
him.
it, and I was like, wow, this could really exist. And then we just basically wrote it over the phone. So, okay, so Jack and I are constantly, Jack and I are just always walking down the street, just like almost start improvising a bit. So we thought we'd just recreate one of our really stupid bits. So we just,
Which one?
I guess, you want to do Turkey Lurkey?
Yeah, you mean...
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, this is the kind of stuff we do all the time, and like, anyway, this is basically how we
This
write
is
a lot
our
of
stupid
stuff.
sense of humor. So I'm like I'm a director of a Broadway show, and I've got my cast. I'm like, okay, everybody, let's do the number 6, 7, 8.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells,
I'm sorry,
jingle
stop.
bells.
Could you stop? Everybody, please. I'm hearing something weird. I was like, could we do that again? 6, 7, 8.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Okay, yeah, okay, I'm
jingle
definitely
bells.
hearing something weird. I don't know who. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just have you sing it one at a time. Okay, you sir, would you sing it?
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
That's not okay.
Jingle bells.
Yeah, that's good. Miss, could you sing it?
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Okay, yeah, cut. Okay, now you.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's bells, bells.
Bells.
No, bells.
Jingle bell.
It's a simple F.
Bell.
Okay, no.
Jingle. Am I making? You want me to mix it?
You know what?
could
Okay,
bells
I
with
actually have an
jingle
idea.
bells.
You know what?
Bell.
Because I'm getting a lot of the word bells from the chorus. How about if you listen? Everybody sing Jingle Bells, and then
Jingle
you just
bells.
sing you just sing Jingle, and I think that'll have the right levels. Okay, so ready? Everybody, good. And 6, 7, 8.
Jangle, jangle, jangle. Okay, that's it.
And it makes us
That's literally
laugh.
what we do. That's how we walk down the street. We literally have a minute left, but I've got to talk to Kerry for 2 seconds. So, Kerry Butler, the brilliant Kerry Butler, star of Xanadu, now star of Disaster. And just for 1 second, talk to me about, by the way, when Kevin Chamberlain mentioned how sometimes you do a reading, you don't do the Broadway show, did that ever happen to you, Kerry Butler, where you did a reading?
You're gonna bring that up. Yeah, 1 year, it was before Xanadu. I got offered to do the readings of 5 big Broadway shows. And I was like, oh, I'm so popular. Which one am I going to choose? I was like Ariel and the Little Mermaid, Ellen Legally Blonde, The Wedding Singer, Xanadu. Cut to getting replaced in all of them.
Literally all of them. But then cut 2, they came back. They came crawling back for Xanadu. She was amazing in that show. And Tony nominated. But for 2 seconds, amazing. But talk about when they asked you at the audition with the signature roller skating.
Oh, yeah. They said, oh, can you roller skate? And I was like, yeah. I used to go to roller skating birthday parties when I was little. So I didn't realize that they wanted me to do tricks and things like that. And I had
was
a
it
rude
easy?
awakening. No, because as Seth knows, I'm like the most uncoordinated person in the world.
She's a singer, she's a singer actress who stands well. Continue.
And so I thought I was going to be fired the whole entire.
I'll be
first
Chris
few weeks.
Ashley. This is her after the show opened up. And I'll be Chris Ashley.
Oh, Chris,
The director.
it's so funny. I thought you were going to fire me for the whole first few weeks of rehearsal.
Literally, there was no, of course not. Just silence and an uncomfortable smile. Okay, so before we sort of close up, just for fun, because I'm obsessed. Also, kids, you can go on after Heartbreak. Please talk about your Annie audition.
Okay, so I auditioned for the movie Annie. I came home from school or whatever, and there was a message on the answering machine. Beep, yes, you've been cast as one of the orphans in the Annie movie.
Isn't that amazing?
So me and my family are screaming, jumping up and down. And then there was another message. Beep, please disregard that last message. We dialed the wrong number. 10 years old.
Okay, take that in. And on that note, we're going to close with a little something you might recognize. Carrie Butler, this is
Can
not
I-
from Disaster, but it's
Can I
amazing.
sing in the audience or no? There are no steps there? Oh, okay, I could go through here. Okay. Hello. Come take my hand. You should know me. I've always been in your mind. You know I will be kind. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if your hope survive, destiny will arrive. I bring out your dreams alive for you. Bring out your dreams alive for you. From where I stand, you are home free. The planets align so rare. There's promise in the air, and I'm guiding you through every turn. I'll be near you. I come anytime you call. I'll catch you when you fall. I'll be guiding you. Going down a ramp. I have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand in our way. You have to believe we are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. And if your hope survive, destiny will arrive. I can't even do it in these heels. I'll bring out your dreams alive for you. I'll bring out your dreams alive.
For who? Bye, everybody. Come see this house